Here's something nobody tells you. The reason neurodivergent advice keeps not working for you probably has nothing to do with the advice itself, and definitely has nothing to do with you not trying hard enough. There's this other thing going on that almost no one talks about, and once you see it, suddenly all those failed attempts start making way more sense. So, if you've ever felt like you're the only neurodivergent person who can't seem to make the strategy stick, this one is for you. The actual problem. Most advice out there assumes we're all starting from the same place. Like, if you just find the right system, or push through long enough, or try just one more app, eventually it'll all click. But that's not how it actually works for a lot of us. It's not that the advice is bad, it's that they're not even looking at what you're actually dealing with. Let me give you a better picture of this. Imagine you're trying to get somewhere and people keep giving you directions. Turn left at the light, speed up on the highway, you should be there in about 20 minutes. That's great advice if you are driving in clear weather on dry roads with no traffic. But what if you're in a fog so thick you can barely see 5 feet ahead of you? Or your road is covered in ice and every turn feels risky? Or you're stuck in construction with orange cones everywhere and half of the lanes are closed? Suddenly, just drive faster isn't helpful. It's borderline dangerous. And yet, when you don't arrive on time, people assume you just weren't following directions. This is what happens with most neurodivergent advice. The strategies might be solid, but they assume road conditions that don't match yours. The 3 conditions. So here's how I think about it in my work. There are basically 3 different conditions you might be navigating. Not levels, not stages, not fixed identities, just conditions. And these can shift depending on what's going on in your life. The first is the fog. You're trying to figure out what is even happening. Maybe you just learned you're neurodivergent, or maybe you've known for a while, but you're realizing your old explanations don't actually fit anymore. What you need here isn't a 5-step system. It's context and language. When you're in a fog, the worst thing someone can do is hand you a detailed map and say, just follow this. You can't see the road yet. You need to slow down and get your bearings first. The second is icy road conditions. You might already understand you're neurodivergent, but you're exhausted. Everything feels harder than it should. Your capacity is low, and honestly, you're just trying not to crash. This is where a lot of burnout lives. What you need here isn't optimization, it's stabilization. Things like nervous system regulation, boundaries, reducing your overall load. You don't need a better route, you need safer conditions. If someone tries to hand you a productivity system while you're on icy roads, it is not going to go well. I say this with love because I have been there, I have tried that, and I spun out spectacularly. The third is the construction zone, which honestly sounds way worse than it is. You're navigating some obstacles, sure, but you have more stability now. You're not asking, what's wrong with me anymore? You're asking, how do I make this actually sustainable? This is where systems and experiments can be genuinely helpful, because now you have the bandwidth to test things and see what sticks. The road conditions can support change here. You're building something long-term, not just surviving. None of these conditions are better or worse than the others. You don't graduate from understanding to support to refinement and never look back. Life happens, stress happens, and burnout will probably happen. And sometimes you're back in the fog or back on ice, even if you've been in refinement mode for months. The problem isn't moving between these conditions. The problem is when advice assumes we're all on the same road and then blames us when we skid. So a huge part of my work is just slowing this whole thing down. Not because you're not capable, you absolutely are, but because rushing is often what's been causing harm. Before we ask, what should you do? I want to ask a different question first. What kind of support does your nervous system need right now? That question changes everything, because once we figure out what road you're actually on, we can figure out what kind of support makes sense and what's going to just make you feel worse. If you're sitting here thinking, okay, this makes sense, but I still don't know which condition I'm in, that's completely normal. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. I actually made a quick quiz to help you get oriented. It'll give you a better sense of what road you're on and what kind of support might be the most helpful right now. It's not some big diagnostic thing, I promise. Just a few questions to help you pinpoint where you are. And honestly, who doesn't love a quiz? The link's in the description. Take it if it feels useful. But please know this, you are not broken, you are not behind. You might just be trying to drive in conditions that nobody acknowledged. In the next video, I'll walk you through what change actually looks like once the conditions are right, and why skipping steps is usually what makes things fall apart. But for now, if nothing's worked before, maybe it's time to stop blaming yourself and start paying attention to the road. I'll see you in the next video. Am I ready to start doing this? So weird to talk to myself, but whatever. We're gonna start over. 'Cause I don't like how to sound. We did it. We got it done.